here. You'd spoken a little bit about this in your testimony in the broader sense, but could you maybe give some examples on how the lack of capacity for some of the permitting may have impacted your business?
Yeah, well, I'll give an example from National Skiers Association. One example of that was an instance in the Pacific Northwest where the lack of capacity to handle projects was so prevalent that the Forest Service took competing ski resorts, different companies, and put them in a room and asked them to prioritize among themselves which project should go first as they handled those one at a time. So that's the sort of thing we're talking about, that delay that occurs. As far as in my experience, we frequently will take 2 years in order to get a large-scale project reviewed, and that timing issue of when does it get reviewed and when does the approval finally come, you can lose 2 seasons of construction just from those 2 timing decisions. 1, the delay that occurs in getting the thing started, and then 2, when the approval finally comes in, if it's too late in the process, you're kicked around to the next building season. And so that's the sort of delay we're speaking about.
Thanks. And could you maybe describe, we've gotten, by the way, I think champagne powder is copyrighted in Steamboat, Colorado, but
yes, it is.
We won't go there. Would you maybe speak to how some of this permitting and the impacts on the ski areas actually affects the local communities around the ski areas as well?
Yeah, well, you know, we take seriously our role as the economic driver in most of the communities we're in. Where I've been for the last 20 years in Mammoth, we are the largest employer in the area, and we're clearly the economic engine for the county and the region. And so when we're unable to get stuff done, that flows through the entire community. So an example of that is the time that it takes to get a new activity, like activities that are permitted under or authorized under the Ski Area Recreation Opportunity Enhancement Act. That delay means that the businesses that we call our financial stakeholders, those businesses in the community that depend on us putting out a product and service that attracts people, those delays impact them. And when it impacts them, that impacts their ability to, the owners of those businesses, to do the things that they were planning on doing. It impacts their capital expenditure timing, ultimately moving all the way through the economy. And it can happen fairly quickly in a small economy where one driver is so important.
Great. And coming from obviously a ski state, and I know you probably have the same issue there with Mammoth as well, the benefits actually flow out beyond even the ski community, the ski area. Is that something that is really desirable in terms of that responsible development and how the permitting and being able to keep some of those fees locally can actually help?
Yes, absolutely. You know, keeping the fees local, ties to the whole broader area. Where I am presently, as the chairman mentioned, in Olympic Valley at Squaw, we have, we're part of a broader region of tourism. Alpine Meadows is part of our company that's on public land. And so our ability to get those projects pushed through, our ability to have that review occur on a timely basis impacts the entire region. And we think that's a good thing.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Cohen. No more questions, Mr. Chair.